seat, you can take a moment to gather your mat, your props, the things that you might need for your practice this morning. And we'll go ahead and start in a comfortable seated position and let your eyes close. Beautiful bird song this morning outside the window. See if you can hear that. So for the first few moments this morning in our practice, will you take the time to arrive? And by arrive, I mean not just physically in your spot, in your space, in your home or wherever you are, but arriving fully in your practice. Open-hearted and receptive. And we'll do our best to let go of expectation or demand in our practice this morning and really allow things to arise organically. There's a beautiful quote by John O'Donoghue, the Irish poet. He says, "I want to be like a river flows, carried by the surprise of its own unfolding." So perhaps working with that in our practice this morning. I want to be like a river flows, carried by the surprise of its own unfolding. And on your next in-breath, sitting up straight and tall, will you hold the top of that in-breath for just a moment? And then send a sigh out your mouth and just let it release. Good. And again, like that. Full breath in through the nostrils, holding full. Exhale out the mouth and letting it release. Relax the jaw, relax your face. And one more like that. Full breath in. Exhale out the mouth and let it cleanse and let it release. Good. And you can move toward your Ujjayi breath, so that gentle engagement using the muscles at the back of your throat. As you breathe in this very mindful and deliberate way, you might notice a different kind of quality to the breath. You might notice the breath slowing down just a little bit. Make sure you're inhaling till you're all the way full and exhaling till you're all the way empty. Good. And let's start a little bit of movement here through the upper body and spine and torso. You can start to move side to side. And maybe you bring the body in more of a circle or a figure eight. Just moving in a way that for you feels organic and connected to your breath, mobilizing and healing. And take just a couple more breaths here in this way. Good. And then come back upright, and we'll uncross the legs and just plant the feet to the floor here for just a moment. Hold on to your knees. And then inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift up through the heart. And then on exhale, round your spine, tuck through your tailbone, chin to chest. Inhale, bring it forward and up, lift and open. And then exhale, round through your spine. Good. One more like that. Inhale, tug on the knees, lift the chest. And then exhale, round through the spine and ease your way back. Good. Come back to your upright position. Bring the hands behind you and hug your shoulder blades toward one another. Puff up through your chest. Maybe that's where you stay. It's a little heart opener. Or you could lift the pelvis up to a little tabletop position, stretching through your wrists and your shoulders and engaging through your core. Maybe even rocking forward and back just a little bit here. Opening up through the shoulders and the wrists. Exhale, sit back down. And let's windshield wiper the knees side to side a couple times, getting some movement and fluidity and opening through the hips, through the pelvis. Good, awesome, you guys. And then we'll make our way forward to the hands and the knees. So take your time to get there. Get some extra padding if that's helpful. And moving through cat-cow this morning. So continuing to mobilize the spine. Inhaling into a little extension, lifting through the tail, opening the heart. Exhaling into flexion, rounding the spine, chin to chest. And just moving back and forth at your own pace. Good. And then make your way back to neutral and then into a downward facing dog. And so this first downward dog of our practice, lifting the hips up. And as we root down through the hands and the feet, feel into your body as if you're coming into downward facing dog for the first time without expectation or attachment about how it should feel or should look. And carried by the surprise of your own unfolding this morning. Your own practice, each breath, a new experience, each moment, each sensation, each asana. And let's take about 3 to 5 more breaths here, just exploring your own present moment experience. Good, everybody. Take one more breath here. And then bend your knees. You can look forward a little bit towards your hands. Step, hop, or walk forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Put a little bend in your knees and extend forward, crown toward the front of the room. And then exhale, fold back in, chest and belly toward the thighs. Relax your head. And do that one more time. So inhale, extend forward, long through your spine and torso. And then exhale, fold, and bring it in. Anchor your feet, and let's come all the way up to standing. So push down through your feet, stretch up, reach tall and lift. Exhale, hands gather, heart center. Good, moving with your breath. Inhale, stretch up tall, long and lengthened. Exhale, dive forward, folding it in. And go slow and steady. Extend your spine, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back in, maybe a little bit deeper. Engage your belly, come all the way back up to standing. Good. Reach up tall, maybe a little mini back bend. And then exhale, hands together, heart center. And again, like that, stretch up tall, just moving through these half salutes with the breath. Exhale, take it forward. Beautiful, you guys, looking good. Flat back as you inhale, follow your breath, let the breath guide. Exhale, fold it back in. Anchor the feet, come all the way back up to standing. Stretch up, reach tall. Again, maybe stretch slightly back behind you, and then hands together at the heart. Moving into A series, stretch tall as you inhale, lengthen. And exhale, dive forward, folding it in. Lengthen out spine on in-breath, coming to that halfway lift. And then take hands to the floor this time and step to plank, upper push-up. Good, strong arms, strong legs, lifted through your core. Here in plank pose, push with your toes, push the body forward just a little bit toward the front of the room, and then back a little bit, like you're pushing your heels toward the back of the room. Do that again. Push with your toes forward, and then back. Good. This time we're going to lower through Chaturanga. So push forward and lower down. Point your toes, open to a little cobra, lifted through the heart. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Pedal through your feet a little bit. Feel into your legs, your hamstrings, your core, your breath. No rush to get anywhere. Good. Take another expansive breath here, lifting a little bit more through the waistline, through the tailbone. And then bend your knees, slight gaze forward, step or hop. Top of the mat. Lengthen, halfway lift, extend. Exhale, fold, bring it in. Good, back up to standing on in-breath. Ground your feet, stretch up, reach up, maybe slight back bend, and then hands back together, heart center. Yay. Arms back up on in-breath. You guys getting a little warm in here? Yes? Exhale, chair pose. No one wants to say anything. You can say stuff. We don't have to be super formal. All right, so chair pose a little bit deeper. Now we're going to move a little bit in this chair pose. So as you exhale, drop the arms, chest and belly toward the thighs. Lift the heels. That's the exhale. And then ground your heels. Bring it back up. That's the inhale. Let's do that again. Exhale, drop down. Arms back, lift the heels. Ground your heels. Inhale, come back up. Last one of these. Exhale, lift your heels. Inhale, come back up to your chair. Good. This time as you exhale, come all the way into your forward fold. Lengthen out spine on the inhale, halfway lift. Hands to the floor. You could step or hop it back, moving through your Chaturanga, or you could send it straight to downward facing dog. Good. And as you make your way to downward dog, let's extend the right leg back behind, reach it up into a three-legged downward dog. Take a moment here. Feel into this leg that's extending, reaching back. And then let's walk the left hand back to about the middle of the mat, almost like a Chaturanga arm. So you're working with this kind of tripod here. You can come up onto the fingertips with that left hand if you want. And even work with the balance, taking the left arm back along your side, kind of the same direction as your right leg. Take 2 more breaths here in this teeter-totter balance.
Bring your left hand back to the floor. Exhale, pull your right knee in toward your chest. Lift through your belly, around your spine, broaden your shoulders. Inhale, take the leg back. Again, reach it up. And then exhale, pull it in. Good. Slow and steady one more time. Reach the leg back. Extend and lengthen. Exhale, pull your knee in. And step your foot all the way through into a high lunge. But we're going to start slow. So keep your fingertips on the floor for a moment. Right knee over the ankle. Strong through your legs. Imagine you're squeezing a block with inner thighs. And then unweight your hands here and extend the arms back along your sides. Again, push with your back toes, strong legs, square off the hips, roll the shoulders back a little bit, and then extend the arms forward alongside your ears and lift all the way up to your upright high lunge or crescent lunge. On your inhale, reach a little bit taller. As you exhale, squeeze those inner thighs toward midline, deepen into your lunge. Take one more breath like that, maybe a little back bend. Reach up tall, open your chest. Exhale, deepen your lunge, squeeze through inner thighs. Your next exhale, hands down. Step to plank. Shift your weight to your right hand, Vashisthasana. So you're going to roll onto the outer edge of your right foot. Pull hips up, strong through your core. Lengthen and lift. Maybe stretch that left arm forward alongside the ear and float your left leg up. Beautiful, you guys. Last breath. Bring it all the way back down. Chaturanga if you like, or send it directly to downward facing dog. Good. Take a moment just to pause here to check in. And then extend your left leg into the air. Reach it up tall. Take a couple of breaths here, feeling into that left leg, active through the toes, reaching. And then you're going to walk your right hand back about a foot or so, that Chaturanga arm. Maybe come up onto the fingertips on the right hand, and maybe unweight the right hand altogether. And then you can hug that right arm alongside the body. The right arm kind of parallel with the left leg. Take another full breath. And send your right hand back to the floor. Hug your left knee in toward the chest. Slow and steady, lift through your core around your spine. Take the leg back. Again, reach it up. And then exhale, pull that knee in. Good, you guys. Last one here. Reach it up. And exhale, pull in and step it through. Now we're going to stay low for a moment. Find the ground underneath you. Feel your feet. Square off the hips, strong legs. Unweight your hands. And then send the arms back along your sides. Your upper body is still pitched forward. Squeeze those inner thighs toward that midline. Roll your shoulders back a little bit. Connect to your core. Take the arms forward alongside the ears at a diagonal. And then lift all the way up into your upright high lunge or crescent lunge. On your inhale, really stretch up tall, as high as you can. Exhale, squeeze those inner thighs, deepen into your lunge. Connect to your core. Take another breath like that. Reach up, maybe open a little bit more. Exhale, squeeze and deepen into the lunge. Last breath. Exhale, hands down. Step to plank pose. Shift your weight over to your left hand. Roll to the outer edge of your left foot for Vashisthasana. Pull hips up. Reach to that right arm. Send your right arm forward alongside your ear. And float your right leg up. Take one more breath here. Good. And then bring it back. Plank pose. You can go directly to down dog or move through that vinyasa. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Good, you guys. Take a breath here. Come on down to your knees. For not dolphin pose, okay? And I mean that. We're going to do something. Well, we'll do it in a second. Actually, who knows? You don't know. We're going to be carried by the surprise of our own unfolding. Okay, so come to hands and knees, connect to core. We're going to stretch the right arm forward, left leg back. Work with a little spinal balance this morning. Square off the hips and the shoulders. Connect to your abdominals here. Think about reaching as far as you can forward with the right arm and back as far as you can with the left leg. Take one more breath here. And then as you exhale, you're going to pull your right elbow towards your left knee. So you're coming into a little crunch. Inhale, stretch it back out. And then exhale, pull it in again. Good. And inhale, stretch it back out. Good. One more of these. Slow and steady, deliberate movement. Reach it back out. Now bend your left leg. Reach back with your right hand. Grab your foot if you can, otherwise just keep it there. And then if you've got the foot, kick the foot into the hand, pull the right shoulder back, lift, and open through the heart. Stay with your breath, you guys. Take one more huge in-breath and release, re-extend. Okay, we're going to do something really, really hard. Okay, so keep it right there. Keep it right there. Tuck your right toes under. Okay, I'm the one that's on film, okay, so damn it. We're going to shift the hips back a little bit and try to lift up into a teeter-totter plank. Yes, do it! Oh, awesome, you guys. And then just come down. Take your knees a little wider. That was hard. Take your left arm out and up. So the one that was just weight bearing. Left arm underneath your right. Good. Take one more breath here. And then unwind. Stretch it back out. Reach it up. And bring the hand back to the floor. Okay, we'll revisit that on the other side in a moment. But let's go back. Let's go to downward facing dog and do another little sequence here. Stretch your right leg into the air. Reach and lengthen. Bend your right leg this time. Lift and open through your hip. Try to keep your hands firmly rooted, the shoulder girdle steady. And then step the right foot through into a high lunge. Okay, so we were just here a moment ago. So from here, we're going to move similar to what we did in our chair pose, okay, a little bit ago. So as you exhale, we're going to drop arms down, chest and belly toward right thigh. Now for a little extra challenge, you're going to float this back leg up, coming into warrior three. Okay, you can hang out there for a breath. And then step back to your high lunge. Reach up. Good.
And again, like that, exhale, chest and belly toward right thigh, arms back, maybe float the back leg up, finding your way into a warrior 3 variation. And then exhale, step it back, reach arms up. Good, one more of these, you guys. Arms back, float through the leg. Take another breath here. Now step back to your lunge, reach up, bring your right hand to your right thigh. Stretch your left arm up and over, coming into a little side body stretch. Take one more breath here and set up for a twisting lunge. So you can bring elbow to knee, if you're familiar with that version, or just bring that left hand down to the floor, just directly underneath your left shoulder, and then send your right arm up. Good. Perfect. Breathe here, you guys. If you're in prayer twist, maybe spread the arms. Good. Excellent. Take one more full breath here. And then exhale, go ahead and release. We're going to walk the hands to the left. Prasarita Padottanasana, the feet parallel and rooted. Lengthen to your halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Good. Try to let your whole upper body hang heavy here and feel more weightless, no tension in your neck or your jaw. Send your last sigh out the mouth. Good. Lengthen out your spine on the in-breath. Walk the hands back up to the top of the mat. Step to plank pose. Good. Hold here for a breath. Lower down, Chaturanga, Dandasana. Peel back through your shoulders, open and lift the chest, cobra or up dog, and then downward facing dog on the exhale. Good, you guys. Come down to your knees, and you're going to come into Dolphin Pose, just when you thought it was safe, but here we are. So forearms parallel, or you can clasp your hands and make a little tripod. Let your head relax, let your jaw go. Tuck your toes under. So you're going to put the weight more into the belly of the forearm, and the hands and the elbows, lift your knees. And then, like you're getting pulled by your navel and your waistline, lift up. Maybe tiptoe forward a little bit toward the face. Good. Tune into your breath. How can the breath support you here? How can your core support you here? Make sure the elbows aren't creeping out wider than the shoulders. Good. Will you stay here for 3 more breaths? Slow and deliberate. Good. And then, as you're ready, come on down to your knees. Child's pose or embryo. So sitting back toward the heels of the feet. Embryo pose, you actually bring your arms back along your sides with the palms up. You can do that. Or keep the arms extended in a more traditional child's pose. Good. Let's take a couple more breaths here.
Good. Come back up to your hands and your knees. And we're going to extend the left arm forward and the right leg back behind you. So starting with this spinal balance sequence. And so for the first little bit here, and just connect to your core. You're hugging everything toward that midline, connecting to your abdominal strength and muscles of the back. And again, imagine you're reaching as far forward with the left hand and the fingertips and back through your right toes. Good. And then as you exhale, hug your left elbow toward your right knee. Come into a little crunch. Inhale, stretch it back out. Slow and steady, almost like you're moving through honey. Elbow to knee. And then stretch it back out. Good. And one more of these. Nice. And then bend your right leg. Reach back with your left hand. Grab a hold of your foot. Kick into your left hand. Open up through the shoulder and through the chest. If you can't quite grab the foot, that's okay. You can still reach that arm back. Take a couple more breaths here. Kick into the hand and open up through your chest. Good. And then release the foot. Re-extend. Now keep it right there, you guys. Remember this crazy thing we did? So you're going to shift your hips back a little bit. That really helps. Push with your right hand. Try to pick up that left knee. Coming into it. Teeter-totter plank pose, which is a stupid-ass pose, in my opinion. No, I'm just kidding. Come on down. Did you guys do it? Let me see. Go ahead. You did it 3 times already? Wow. Overachievers. Okay. Come back to your knees. Take your knees a little wider. The right arm will reach out and up. Thread the needle. Good. Last breath here, opening through that right shoulder. And let's go ahead and unwind out of that. Reach it up. And bring the hand back to the floor. Good. Let's make our way back to a downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up. And then sending the left leg back behind, 3-legged downward dog. Bend the left leg, lift and open through the hips. Stretch it out here. And then go ahead and step that left foot through for your high lunge, crescent lunge. So really plug the feet into the floor and send the arms up. The back heel is lifted. Take another breath here, and we'll move as we did on the other side. So exhale, arms down, chest and belly to left thigh. Either keep it there for a breath or 2, or pick up this back leg. Find your balance. Good. Slow and steady, set the foot back down and reach the arms back up. And then exhale, bring it down and float the back leg up. Good. Connecting to core, float it back down and arms up. Let's do one more of these. Arms down, chest and belly to left thigh. Pick up this back leg and set it back down and reach up. Now bring your left hand to your left thigh. Stretch up through your right arm and right side body. Come up and over into your side bend. You can keep it there for a moment. Maybe bring right elbow to left knee for that prayer twist, or right hand can come down to the floor. underneath the shoulder as you open up into your twisting lunge. You can always ground that back knee. Good. If you are in the prayer twist, you're welcome to spread your arms or whatever suits you here. Take one more cleansing breath. Unwind out of that. Everybody walk your hands over to the right. This time, parallel your feet, wide straddle, forward fold. Flat back as you inhale. Exhale, fold. So this time around, if you'd like to take the hands to the hips and weight the hands and bring a clasp behind your back, you can work with that. Good. Last breath here. And then release. Flat back. Walk the hands back up to the very top of your mat. Step to plank pose. Connect to your core, lower down, Chaturanga. And cobra or upward dog. Downward facing dog. Good. Come on down to your knees for Dolphin Pose. One more time. So we're going to work this time with the leg up. So forearms parallel. And tuck those toes under. Pick up your knees. Tiptoe forward toward your face. Lift through your core. Send your right leg up. Active through those toes, you guys. You can have a little bend in your left knee or keep it straight. That's up to you. Use the length and the extension of that leg for support and direction. Maybe do a little hop toward a forearm balance. Nice. And then switch legs. Right foot down. Left leg reaching up. Active through those toes. Lengthen and reach. And again, maybe a little hop on this side toward forearm balance. Good. Left foot back. Take one more breath in Dolphin. And exhale. Come on down to your knees. Child's pose. Good. Awesome. All right, come back up to your knees and take a look up here for a moment. What do you suppose we're going to do right now? Dolphin strut. Nice, Kathy. Extra points, extra yoga points for you. So dolphin strut. So what you'll do is you'll start in dolphin, tiptoe forward a little bit. I like to tiptoe my feet a little wider. And I'm going to keep my right forearm on the floor, take my left arm behind my back, or I can reach over to the calf or the ankle. I prefer it behind the back. And then connect to core, take the right leg up. So again, we've been toying around with all these little teeter-totters today. So this is dolphin strut. If you want to come into dorsal fin, you could try to find your foot here and kick into that. And then we'll come down and rest. Well, I've done mine for the day, so your turn. And everybody else watching. The thing is, you guys at home are probably cheating.
because no one can see you. I mean, no offense. No, you're probably not. You're doing it. You're doing it. Just kidding. Love you. Okay. So come to Dolphin Pose, you guys. And you're welcome to just stay in Dolphin. That's fine, too. If you're going to work with Dolphin Strut, tiptoe forward just a little bit toward your face. Tiptoe the feet out just a little bit. Take your right or your left arm behind your back. Left arm behind your back, or reach for your left calf. Good. And then toy around with your balance here. Float your right leg up. Good. Nice. Perfect. And then maybe reach and grab your foot. Good. Nice, David. Oh my gosh, I love it. Awesome. Okay, good. Okay, come and rest for a second before I do the other side. And I love what Ben was doing, because he was doing that flash prep, right? So instead of taking the arm behind the back, one thing that you could do, so instead of doing this, you could do this. Kind of like how we were doing that in down dog, you know? So you could do this and then take the leg up. So that's just a kind of one step in between those two. So, all right, ready? Other side. I'll do the other side. Okay. Pick up your knees, come into Dolphin. Tiptoe forward just a little bit. Take your feet a little wider. Okay, now the right arm is going to go behind the back, or you could bring the hand to the floor like that flash pose, or hand to calf. And then, as best you can, take your left leg up. Coming into your Dolphin Strut, or bend, grab your foot. Dorsal fin. I definitely have a preferred side, and this is not it, but good. Oh, and breathe, too. There's that. Good. Awesome, you guys. Great job. Come back up to your hands and your knees, and let's just take 3 big circles with the hips, going clockwise. Good, and then pause and take 3 big circles with the hips, going counterclockwise. Good. Back up to your hands and knees. And downward facing dog, hips up. Right leg in the air again, stretch it up. Bend the leg, lift, open through your hip. And let's take Pigeon Pose. So right knee moving through towards your wrist. Now you can recline onto your back for figure 4, if that's better for your knees. But let's try to stay upright for a moment. Right fingertips on the floor. Bend the left leg, if that's available to you. Grab a hold of the foot. Still keep your core engaged and your legs hugging toward that midline. Pull your right heel toward your glute. Good. Maybe hook your left arm around your foot. Reach your right arm up and either take the hand behind the head, or you could reach for your clasp. Okay, that's just not required, just somewhere you can go with this. Good. Last breath. Feeling into that left quad, and then release the foot. Walk the hands forward and fold.
Good, and notice each and every breath brings a little newness into the body, into sensation. Good. Will you take another deep cleansing breath here? You can send that sigh out the mouth if it's helpful. Good. Make your way back up. Hands to the floor. Send your right leg back. Reach it up. And you can stretch this leg out however you'd like. Maybe draw circles with the leg. Or if you want to flip your dog over, you can do that. So drop your right foot to the floor and open up into a wild thing or three-legged back bend. Reaching through the right arm and the fingertips. Last breath here. And just flip it back to your downward facing dog. If you really want to take a extra vinyasa here, you can. Another Chaturanga. Good. And then the left leg will stretch back. Reach it up. Bend the leg. Lift your hip. And then we'll guide the left leg into Pigeon Pose. So same thing here. Feel your legs underneath you so you're not just collapsing down. Feel that muscular engagement and integrity. You can bend the right leg. Feel for the foot. Coming into a quad stretch. Maybe that's where you stay. Or you could hook your elbow around the toes. Send your left arm forward. Maybe reach up, come into a bind or any version of this pose. Good, nice. Last breath here. Let the right foot go and walk your hands forward into your pigeon. Nice. Will you take another full breath here? If it's helpful, send that sigh out your mouth and let it release. Good. Back up to your upright position. And we'll send the left leg back, reach it up. Bend the leg and open the hip, stretch it out. Maybe draw circles with your leg, or you can flip your dog over into that wild thing pose or three-legged back bend, reaching through the left arm and the fingertips. Take one more giant breath here, and then bring it all the way back. One last vinyasa. And then all the way back to downward facing dog. Awesome, you guys. Okay, come down to your knees. And we've just got a few more minutes. I'd like for you to work with an inversion, okay? And let's see. I mean, we do have some wall space there in the back. You could just move some of those portraits if you would like to use a wall. Or, so this could be anything elevating the hips higher than the heart. It could be bridge pose. It could be headstand. It could be down dog, right, technically. Or you could just, if
you're feeling like moving into Shavasana and winding down and skipping this part, that's fine too. Okay, inversion of choice. I'm going to work with headstand. So I will kind of talk through that if you'd like to listen to those cues, or you can just work with something else on your own, okay? So with headstand, bringing the elbows down to the floor, grab a hold of opposite biceps, placing the elbows about shoulder width apart. And then interlacing the fingers and opening up the heels of the hands and the palms. So you're creating a basket with the hands. And then you'll bring the top of your head to the floor and hold, like a basket, the back of the head with your hands. And the outer edge of one of your pinkies might be touching the floor. That's fine. Now push with your elbows into the floor and pull your shoulders back. Contract your shoulders back away from the ears. And then pick up your knees. So you're putting some weight onto the top of the head. Don't let the shoulders sink toward your ears. Pull them away and then tiptoe forward toward your face. So you're stacking your hips over your shoulders and then over your head. Now send one leg up, and as you send one leg up, hold the back of the head with your hands, push the elbows into the floor, and feel the foot that's on the ground unweight and come up into your balance. You've got that space at the cervical spine, the back of your neck. Activate your feet. Lots of space between shoulders and ears. You can come back down whenever you're ready. For a little extra challenge, you can come down in a pike. So coming down with the legs together. And connecting to your core. Step the feet back, and then always take a little child's pose just to release the neck. And to let the circulation just come back to normal. Here, the blood flow. And then a good neck release is to place one fist on top of the other, like this. Let your forehead rest on top of the fist and let your chin relax back. That's a good neck release. Awesome. So wherever you are, let's find our way back to our backs. And if you're not already there, just take a moment to get there. Good. And hug both knees into your chest. You haven't already. And rock side to side. Let's take both knees over to the left, coming into a spinal twist. And last full breath here. And then draw your knees back up and over to your right. And stretch the left arm out. Good. Take another full breath here. And then guide the knees back in. And you can stretch the legs out long to the floor. Reach the arms up and back. Lengthen from top to bottom. And allow the arms to relax down along your sides, opening up the palms. And arranging for Shavasana, corpse pose. I want to be like a river flows, carried by this prize of its own unfolding. You feel your body here lying on the ground. The breath rising and falling. Each breath and each moment never quite repeating itself, always a new experience. With this notion of newness, can you begin to move the body, reawakening, opening, and unfolding? And you can start to transition over to your side into a fetal position. And then back up to your seat on your mat. And on your next in-breath, let's go ahead and stretch back up through the arms. And then the hands can come together at the heart. And really beautiful practice, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. We'll finish with one round of Om all together. Take a full breath in. Namaste.